Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I wanted to discuss the GTA Online DLC is coming out this Thursday, the 14th of July. I really want to talk about how much I think it's going to cost. I'm not going to go like, oh, if they release 10 vehicles and assuming, oh, well, 3 are supercars and 4 are sports cars and 1 is a fighter jet. I'm not going to go into that kind of detail. I will, however, tell you like the bare minimum what you need to like get started with DLC and how much money you'll probably need to have in general to spend like buy everything on day one, and then drip feed, keeping that in mind too. So let's go ahead and get into it. So DLCs have been becoming more and more expensive due to the fact that it's easier to get money nowadays. You got the contracts at your auto shop. You got the Dr. Dre contract. You got the security contracts. You got the payphone hits, and of course we got Kyle Perico. So that's like so many ways to make money right there. And those are all just from the 3 recent DLCs that have happened in the past year or two. So I'm really thinking that the buy-in for like just get your foot into the door for this DLC to just get started, so you have like you can experience the bare minimum of the content. You're gonna need about $2 million to $2.5 million. I'd say that's like the bare minimum, considering that the Kasaka was 2.2 million, and I believe the cheapest agency in the game without any like upgrades and renovations was like about 2.5 million. It's going to run you about at least $2 to $2.5 million, considering that it's going to be like a DLC centered around the whole IAA storyline. I believe we're going to buy like an office in the IAA building perhaps. So yeah, that'll probably run you about 2.5 million easily. And then cars are also only getting more expensive. Like, Jesus Christ, we're spending how much on a 1992 Subaru twice? It's like $2 million, you know? So I'm thinking like for like the average sports car in the game, it's going to run you about at least $1.5 million at the very least, depending on, you know, if it's like a popular sports car. Like the tuner cars were all very like popular fan requested cars, like the Honda S2000, the Supra, the no, the Eclipse wasn't added to that one. I'm just like thinking of cars that are added to that DLC. The 370Z, the 1990s Mustang. Those are all very popular cars that the fans have been asking for a few years. I'm not sure what other cars they could add to the game that haven't been added already besides like a modern Camaro. And I saw they're adding a like newer, not really newer, it looks like a 1990s Lamborghini. It was actually in the promotional art for the DLC. That car is probably gonna be like the big car for the DLC, like how the Calico or the Celica was for the tuners update. The Buffalo STX was the contract vehicle. Like it was like the selling point for those DLCs. I believe that that this Lamborghini is gonna be like the popular car for this update. And I believe the Lamborghini is going to cost us about, I want to say, 2.2 million at the very least. Granted, there are going to be trade prices. So to get your foot in the door with the DLC, it's going to cost you about 2.2 to 2.5 million dollars easily. And to actually buy everything, I'm pretty sure they're going to add like, let's say they add 15 vehicles, right? But they only add 10 on day one, so on launch, and then they drip feed the other 5s. So the first 10 vehicles, you're going to spend about 20 million, give or take, with the modifications and all that good stuff. So 20 million with 10 vehicles, I think that's pretty fair. Well, that's not fair, but that's fair to assume it'll be that much. And then with the drip fed vehicles, it's going to be about another 5 to 10 million, honestly. So with the drip feed, about altogether be like $30 million. I'm not counting like, oh, if they add these new clothing items and you're gonna spend 800K, you know, I'm not gonna do the math like that. That's just stupid. Everybody wants the new vehicles. Everybody wants like a new property. I don't think anybody really cares about like clothes and tattoos and all that stupid stuff. But honestly, I do see that the cars on launch will be 20 million, then like an extra 10 million for the drip fed vehicles. And I wouldn't really worry about saving $25 million just for the drip fed vehicles, considering that the drip fed vehicles don't come out till like at least a week later, and they release them one by one each week. You'll be able to like save your money and not really stress about like not getting it on day one. I mean, you can always play Kyle Perico in between the drip fed or the drip feeds, so don't really stress yourself too much about that. Just know that you won't be spending 25 million on day one, basically. But you don't have to buy all the DLC vehicles. I don't think everybody does. Like there's a lot of DLC vehicles from the contract that I did not buy. Like I didn't buy the iWagon. I didn't buy the new Porsche because it was just a drop top variant. There's a whole list of cars that I didn't buy from the contract. I just bought the Ignis, the Champion, the Buffalo, the free vehicle they gave you, and the supercar, the Zeno, even though it was garbage. So there's not like a lot of vehicles you're gonna like go out of your way to buy. There's always like filler vehicles, really. So don't stress yourself too much if you don't have $20 million to buy all the vehicles. Usually the majority of the vehicles aren't even worth buying anyways, and they're really bad. Just don't stress about it. And 2.5 million, come on, that's stupid. You can make that in like a day, like doing like Kyle Perico in the morning, then Kyle Perico at night, or just doing it with a friend and hope your friend gives you 85% of a cut or whatever. There's no way you can't make 2.5 million unless you don't have the Kasaka, like you're a new player or whatever. But there's no way you can't make yourself $2.5 million. Like that's like the bare minimum to get you started in the DLC. Like 2.5 just to unlock like the IA missions and stuff. It's just gonna be about 2.5 million. And if it's like 3 million, don't come for me. Like I don't work at Rockstar, so I don't know exactly how much. This is a guesstimation from the previous 3 DLCs that we've experienced. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Actually, that's just basically my thoughts of how much everything's gonna be worth for the DLC. So in conclusion, to get your foot in the door so you can actually experience the new content, the DLC, like the missions and stuff, about $2.2 to $2.5 million easily. Don't crucify me, it's 3 million, but I think it's gonna be 2.2 to 2.5 million. If you want to buy all the new cars on day one, 20 million. But granted, you don't have to stress about buying all the cars on day one, because usually some of the cars that drop on day one are even worth buying. Like I said earlier, the iWagon, I did not get. The Astron, I did not get on day one. The Comet S2 Cabrio, that's what it's called, I did not get that on day one. So don't stress yourself too much. But if you're the type of person that want to buy everything on day one, go for it. But honestly, if you want to have like some decent vehicles, you're probably going to spend maybe like $5 to $7 million. But I think we're gonna wrap it up there. So yeah, Vault all the way. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Like the video if you liked it, found it informative or helpful. Comment on the video. What do you think like the price would be for like the average vehicle for the DLC or whatever. But yeah, with all that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.